Right, welcome to the solutions video for the drawing exercise as part of our lesson on the properties of waves. So this third exercise was all about transformation of waveforms. I asked you to draw three roughly identical waveforms and then sketch a transformation onto each one. So for the first one, I asked for you to draw a waveform that had a lower amplitude but had the same time period or the same period. So we're going to do that with our first one. We'll call this one number 1, number 2 and number 3. So this one we want to have the amplitude down but the same period, which means that the total sort of length along here is the same, but the height is reduced. So it will look something like this. So you will see that the cycle lasts for the same length of time and it actually passes through the same point through the rest position again, which is quite a useful sort of checking thing that you've done. But the amplitude, the height, the maximum displacement has been reduced. Now number 2, I asked for a wave that had the same amplitude but I asked for it with the frequency to be lower. So remember what I said earlier about frequency and time period. So if frequency goes down, what that means is that the period has gone up. You may remember I said that frequency was 1 over the period. So that means that the length of this cycle is going to get longer, but the height is not going to change. So for example, start at the same point, go there, maybe not there, we'll go there. Make that the new peak. That's not a perfect drawing by any stretch of the imagination, but it would look something akin to that. So you see that the height, the displacement is the same on the top and the bottom, but it now takes longer to go through that full cycle compared to the original wave. Finally, I asked for a wave that had a higher amplitude and a higher frequency, which by this that I mentioned earlier means that the period is down, is smaller. So we've seen what happens when the amplitude goes down, which means that our wave needs to get taller, and when the period goes up, the wave gets longer. So because the period here is going down, we want the wave to get shorter. So I'll mark a point here and I'm going to draw this now, and it's going to look something like that. Again, not perfectly drawn to scale. This is more of a sketch than a drawing because I'm doing it on a whiteboard. And to be honest, I suspect yours will also be a sketch as well. But you should have it that your amplitude has gone up and it takes less time or distance to complete that one cycle of the waveform. You could carry it on if you wanted to, and it would be over there and so on and so forth. So that's the solutions to this exercise. Obviously yours will look slightly different to mine depending on how you drew your cycles and all of that, but that's the idea and how the amplitude, the frequency and the time period affect the shape of the waveform. So make sure to write down anything from this that you need to check. Make sure to click the other solutions videos in the description before you wrap up the video, especially for the labeling exercise, which was at the same time as this one in the main video. Once you've checked them both and you're happy with your answers and you've got your notes completed, return to the main video via the link in the description.